Bryce Young he's a talking point. The Panthers, they're a talking point, right? A lot of questions. So it's hard to even think that there are under the radar, right? Under talked about aspects of what the Panthers are trying to do, but there absolutely are, right? It's sometimes you're missing the forest for the trees. Sometimes you hear all of the same questions over and over again, so you think they're the only questions. But we came up with 3 questions that aren't being asked about the Panthers that should be asked about the Panthers. And I'm going to start with question number 1 that isn't being asked but should. Are there too many cooks in the kitchen on offense? Now, we all know what that means, right? Are there too many leaders and not enough followers? Are there too many people that think their voice should be the loudest? And do they all understand their roles? And I'm kind of looking at Thomas Brown, the offensive coordinator, on this one. But let's be real. He's not the main guy on the offense. It's Frank Reich, right? Frank Reich is the guy. And matter of fact, let's hear from the guy. Frank Reich talking about Thomas Brown, the OC, calling plays in camp.
Just have conviction about what you call. You know what I mean? I thought he did a great job. It came very easy to him. He's been doing it the whole OTAs and training camp. Like when we go 2-minute, when we go, when we do that stuff where, I'm just having him call everything. So he's doing a great. He's a natural. He really is. Very quick-minded. If you know Thomas, he's very decisive and very quick-minded, and he does call his plays with conviction. So, I think this is a great experience for him.
And he should have ended it with, "Now don't worry about it. I got it from here."
Yeah, but week 1 though, I'm your guy.
I mean, it's nice that you can, but you won't get the chance to. Brown is very interesting, a running backs coach by trade. Like, that's where he came up in, right? He started his coaching career in 2012 as far as on-field coaching, and every year except for 1, he's been a running backs coach or some form of assistant head coach and running backs coach. That's not a traditional path to being an OC, especially not in modern football, right? Modern football, it's wide receivers coach, quarterbacks coach almost exclusively. Occasional offensive line coach. Anthony Lynn was someone that came up in running backs, eventually became a head coach after doing the coordinator thing. He's back to being a running backs coach now in San Francisco. Eric Bieniemy is the other one. Jury's still kind of out on him. You want to see what he can do away from Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes. But I did look it up. According to PFF, coming into this year, of the 10 best offensive coordinators, Detroit, Ben Johnson's a wide receivers coach coming up. Kellen Moore, quarterbacks coach with the Chargers. Bill O'Brien in New England, he was a wide receiver and a quarterbacks coach. Shane Waldron, pass game coordinator, O-line. Basically, it's just Bieniemy in that top 10 with running backs. So Thomas Brown is already trying to do something difficult. And then you mix in that they have Jim Caldwell as a senior offensive assistant who is very highly respected in the game. It had been well known that he wasn't planning on coming back to coaching unless it was as a head coach, and then he took a senior assistant job here. So you would expect that to be a very, very listened to position.
Absolutely.
Josh McCown, very recently a player, has interviewed for head coaching jobs, kind of in a strange move, but also seems very involved in the offense. Deuce Staley, if you watched any of the Hard Knock stuff from when he was on the Lions, he is a loud, you better listen to him style coach.
Or watch Camp Confidential.
Very similar. There's a world where Thomas Brown is the offensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, and when the offensive staff gets together, he's the 4th or 5th most listened to voice in the room. And I'm not saying that as a knock on Thomas Brown, right? He's trying to find where his offensive coordinator style is going to be. I'm saying that as that might be one too many loud voices in the room, right? When you talk as the coordinator, people better listen. So, with the offense not having a great debut, I think it's a question to ask. The second question, are the Panthers ready to extend Derrick Brown? Because
he's eligible.
He's eligible as of this offseason, as of like the one that just finished offseason. Brian Burns is what everyone's looking to when it comes to dollars and cents on the defensive line. When will he sign? How much will he sign for? Are they going to have to break the bank? Will they sign? How much will Aaron Rodgers, if you watched Hard Knocks, went up to Brian Burns after one of the practices and said, "Good luck with the contract. You deserve it." Like, everybody is thinking of Brian Burns in the contract, right? And some lineups right next to him is Derrick Brown, and he's going, "What about me? I want a couple dozen million, couple 60, 70 million, 80 million. How about that?" The questions have all been about Brian Burns, but guess what? Derrick Brown, according to PFF, ranked as the 7th best interior defender of the 2022 season.
That's pretty good.
Spotrac, who does all of the analytics behind contracts, has Brown's market value as 4 years, $70 million. That's a lot of money.
Right now.
That's the the stock market of it all.
Yeah.
If he plays well this year, the price is only going to go up. Even if he plays the exact same, the defensive tackle market is just going up. So you have to at least explore it, right? You have to at least explore signing Derrick Brown. Yes, take care of Brian Burns, but explore signing Derrick Brown. I think he's proven that he is a starting caliber, give him a bunch of reps, defensive tackle. Now, is he elite, or is he just very good? I don't know if you want to find that out before you sign him.
To keep it here locally, Dexter Lawrence, who's from Wake Forest High School, right here in Wake County, he signed a 4-year, $90 million extension with $60 million guaranteed this offseason. Now, I think that's even been surpassed since. So, okay, now it's like there's your
Jeffrey Simmons
bar.
signed for a bunch. The defensive tackles are getting paid.
Yeah.
And if Derrick Brown turns into a big season, or even just a similar to last year, maybe a little bit better, he's not going to want less than those guys. Question number 3 for the Panthers that should be asked but isn't being asked. Why does Jeremy Chinn come off the field? He played 8 of the 13 snaps that the starting defense played in preseason game 1. Now, I wouldn't put too much stock into that if Von Bell, Xavier Woods, Shaq Thompson, J.C. Horn, Dante Jackson all did not come off the field at all when the starters were out there. So of the secondary, Jeremy Chinn is going to be the guy that comes off the field when they aren't in nickel seemingly every time. And I think I'm high on Jeremy Chinn, man.
Oh, likewise.
I love his versatility. Versatility to me normally says you don't have to come off the field because you have a role and a skill set that fits more situations. I understand, right? Defense it's not like he's the left guard. He's not going to break. Joe Thomas just went into the Hall of Fame and he played like 10,500 snaps consecutively. Like, defense doesn't work that way. I get it. But I want him playing most of the snaps. Why would he come off the field when I think he's one of the playmakers that can bring something different to your defense that everybody else doesn't have? And that's not saying I disrespect the other guys. I think the secondary is something I'm confident in. I just think you got to find a way to keep him out there as much as you possibly can, and I hope they do. Those are the 3 questions that the Carolina Panthers are not having asked about them that I think they should. Hopefully they have answers. Right? Not just questions.
They need them.
Don't just be a question guy. Be an answers guy. Don't just be a problems guy. Be a solutions guy.